views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Today my special guest on Zoom is Margo O'Donnell, and she's one of my favorite singers from the past and now the present. How are you, Margo?
I'm great, Patty, and it's really, really special to be talking to you and to be on your show. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I interviewed your brother Daniel.
Yes, he's very popular everywhere, but he's loved in America. I mean, it's great.
You were loved as well. I've seen all your. As I grew up, I listened to you and watched you on TV and all that.
I'm in my golden years now.
Me too.
So it's good. I don't tour as much or as extensively as I used to, and I do special shows, and I can sit back and look. I take a great interest in what Daniel's doing, and I'm awful proud of him for all that he's done and all the achievements that he has. So thanks for having him on as well.
Well, we love you, girl. And your music, of course, you sing excellent.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, where were you born and raised? I already asked Daniel that, but I'd like to hear it from you.
Yeah, I was born and raised in a little place in northwest of Ireland, and Donegal, right up at the tip top, and it's a very, very rural place. A lot of fishing goes on there, and a lot of people that are not fishing, then they have to emigrate, and a lot of them go to Scotland from Donegal and to England, and a lot went to America, of course, as well. I remember the first time that I went on tour in 1972 to America. I remember standing in a place in New York, in the Bronx, called the Red Mill. It was a famous dance hall. And I remember looking down into the crowd and actually seeing so many faces from home that I felt like I was right back there, So immigration was a big thing in the area that I was brought up in. Not so much so when Daniel was born, because there's 10 years between us. Right. And things had moved on a lot. There was a lot of production, and there was a lot of work that was there for people back then. But when I was born, I'll be 71 now on the 6th of February.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, you got me right at the beginning. Got me. So I was born there, and it was, to me, it's the most beautiful place in the world. And no matter where I travel or where I've traveled in the past, it will always be home, even though I don't go back as much as I used to since my mom passed away. My father passed away in 1968, and I never, ever thought for 1 minute that I would make a career out of singing. I was singing at that time with a local group from home, and I always wanted to be a nurse and get married and settle down and have a couple of children. But when
you would have been a great nurse too. You seem to have the calmness about it.
Well, anyway, when he died, I was the second eldest, and as I was earning at the time, and I had just recorded my first record, The Bonny Irish Boy, and on the flip side, Dear God, in August 1968. And it became a hit. And then my second record went to #1, The Road by the River, and If I Could See the World Through the Eyes of a Child. And that sort of
Oh.
cemented my life in music.
I love See the World in the Eyes of a Child. It's one of my favorites, you know.
Really, really,
I
yeah.
love it.
Patsy Cline recorded that, and she was one of my favorite singers, even though I recorded a lot of cover versions of her songs, but never tried to sing. I never tried to sing like anybody. I just sang like myself, and it seemed to work. And I don't like to hear people trying to imitate other people. I don't think
That's right.
I don't think that's a talent. I think that's a con. So I'm just me, and I sang the way that I sang and sounded the way that I sounded, and people seemed to like it, and they gave me everything, Patty, that I have today. And the fans are the most wonderful people in the world. They really and truly are, and I've got a great relationship with them, and they've become, to me, my extended family, and a very, very important
We
part.
feel that we love you as a family as well.
Thank you.
Your singing helped to inspire people as the time went on. It inspired me, you know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So the name, while growing up, who influenced you the most?
Sorry?
Who had mentored you?
Actually, nobody. I never took a singing lesson in my life. I just sang. My father was a great folk singer, and he would have taught me when I was little a lot of the Irish folk songs. And I started out singing folky kind of stuff like the Bonny Irish Boy and the Road by the River and that. But the first country record I ever bought was a record of Patsy Cline's. And as it turned out, If I Could See the World Through the Eyes of a Child was on that album. And I had never heard her sing before. I was in Scotland on tour, and I went to a marketplace where they were selling records, albums, you know, the LPs.
Oh, the old stuff.
And I remember listening to her voice over the tannoy and wondering, who is that? And I went up to the man and I asked him, and he told me it was Patsy Cline. She had passed away at that time. She had been killed in '63. But it would have been one of my greatest wishes would have been if she was alive to meet her. But I did meet her husband, Charlie Dick, and he took me back to the house that she bought just the week before she was killed in the plane crash. So a lot of wonderful things has happened to me because of my music, and I've met some wonderful people because of it as well.
So your first band that you were with was in high school when you were a teenager?
Yes.
What was the name of that band?
They were the Keynotes.
Keynotes.
Yeah, and they were from, I knew them all. They were all guys from around my area in Donegal. And they had a lead singer who was, my mother used to say he was going off to get a proper job. He went to join the police. And they knew that I sang. I sang in the church choir at home and at little concerts that would take place in the local halls. And they would have been there. They would have known that I sang. So one day I was out for a walk with a friend, and when I came back, my mom said to me, the Keynotes were here looking for you to see if you would sing with them, you know, school holidays and weekends. And that's how it began. I was 13 when I joined them, when I first sang with them in October 19. I was only little, and October 1964 I joined, and I sang, you know, at the weekends, and I sang on school holidays, and at special things I would get time off school to go and sing with the Keynotes. So, but I was with them thinking ahead that I was still going to do nursing. Right. And then, of course, in August '68, my father passed away, and we didn't have anything. I was the second eldest. My older brother, the oldest of the family, John, he hadn't been well at the time, and I was making money, I was earning very little, but the record that I released after my father died seemed to click, as they say, and I got offered a contract with a Dublin promoter to put another band around me and record me extensively. So even though it meant leaving Donegal and going to Dublin, and I hated that, and I asked if I could take the keynotes with me, and they seemed to think that that was a no-no. So in December 1969, I left Donegal and I went to Dublin and I formed the Country Folk. And
Country Folk, is that the name of the band?
that was the name of the new band. So that was the start of the #1 records and the recordings and the albums and the whole thing. And a lot of the success that I had went totally over my head. I wouldn't have been captivated by bright lights or anything like that. I loved Donegal. I loved to go back home. My heart never left Donegal. And it was amazing. There was an awful lot of people that I had gone to school with that then moved to Dublin. They were working there. So I would meet them all, and I learned to have a life away from Donegal, and I was still able to be with people from home. So it just all started then in 1970. We were known as Margo, the sound of the 70s. So that's how it all began, really. And you just sort of go from one year to the other. I kept recording, and I was very, very successul. I
know. I followed your career.
Yeah, I was able to look after my mom and my siblings. Right. I made a promise to my dad on the morning that he died, never thinking he was going to die. He was only 49 years of age. Oh. And he asked me, he said, Margaret, you look after mom and the wee ones. That's what he said. And I would have promised him anything. You know, he hung the moon for me. Mm-hmm. And then he passed away later that morning. Mm. And I seem to think that I had to take a heavier load than what he actually meant. And I carried that promise till it almost destroyed me.
Oh, no.
You know, I took it too seriously. I went above and beyond, and thinking that my family will never need for anything. But it was a lonely road. I didn't like being away from Donegal. I didn't like the cities. And the only thing that I loved was singing. So
What genre is your singing then?
I listened to all the older singers. That a lot of them have passed away now. Mm. Patty, like Kitty Wells and Jean Shepherd and Skeeter Davis and all of those people. And I never thought, when I was doing cover versions of their songs, when I started out, I never thought that I would get to meet them and work with them and become friends with a lot of them. And I did all that in the 90s. I met a lot of them at a festival that took place in Wembley in London every Easter. It was called Wembley International Country Festival. And I would have met and worked with Loretta Lynn and Dottie West and Conway Twitty.
Loretta, I always wanted to interview her.
Oh, really? Really, yeah.
Lucky to get a hold of her.
What wonderful people. And I honestly have achieved everything that I wanted to achieve. And now I'm sitting back on my laurels talking to you and enjoying the buzz.
You think? You went to Nashville?
I did, yeah. I went to Nashville quite a number of times. And I recorded with Liz Anderson, who was a mother of Lynn Anderson. I became very friendly with Liz. She was a great lady, and she wrote some songs for me. And Jean Shepherd was a great friend of mine, and I loved Kitty. I loved Kitty Wells. She was just She was a lady, an absolute lady. And Skeeter Davis and Ginny Pruitt and all of those wonderful singers. But in the mid-90s, I recorded an album with Dolly's family, Dolly Parton. And Dolly came on the album and honored me with singing duets and harmonies and all that. So I had a wonderful time in the mid-90s doing that. And in the early 90s, we myself and Philomena were on the Grand Ole Opry, Philomena Begley. We did an album out there of duets, and we also did a video. So we were on the Opry then, and then I would have went back numerous times and would have been on the Opry with the grand ladies. So it was a special time for all of us.
You've been on the TV and radio yourself, eh?
Yes, I had my own series of TV shows in the 70s. For about 4 years, I did 2 years. I compared my own, and then I co-presented another 3 years with somebody else. So I had, and still do TV when it comes up. We still do a lot of the TV shows that involves country music and Irish music, and do a lot of radio stuff as well. So, but as I say, I'm not doing as much as I used to do, and that's the way I like it.
The only thing I'm doing is my TV show for
Right.
12 years. And another, I'm working as an artistic director for a nonprofit, putting on entertainment at a park area they call Promenade Park here in
Right.
Fort Wayne, and singing, dancing, drumming.
Good, very good,
A lot of work.
good. Well, it's great to talk to you anyway.
I know. So, over the years, how many songs have you done? Remember?
Oh dear, thousands and thousands and thousands.
Oh, okay.
I have about, I think, maybe close on 60 albums. And actually, this year, I'm next month. I'm releasing 70 songs for 70 years, and it's going to be a compilation of songs from the very beginning right up to the present day. So I'm recording that, and I'm also going to do a special tour for my 70 years. I was going to do it when I was 70, which was last February, but then COVID hit and everything was cancelled. So the promoters came back on and asked if I would do it this year. So I'm going to try and do it this year, do the tour around Ireland, 70 songs for 70 years. So hopefully the COVID will stay away.
I had COVID last January, not this January. The year before.
Really?
It wasn't fun.
Were you very sick?
They gave me an infusion in my arm for an hour and a bit at the hospital. Then I had to be there for a couple hours, and they sent me home, and they made sure I didn't go out for 12 days, 10 to 12 days. My husband never got it,
Really?
like he saw it. But, I hope I don't get it again.
you're all
I mean,
right.
I've been, the needle thing, vaccine, and booster.
Yeah, we all have had the vaccine and the boosters and all that here, and seems to be sort of going back a little bit, and they're starting to have the music again, so that's good, because there was a lot of people that were out of work, a lot of young artists who are just starting out, and it affected them more than the likes of me, because I've had my career, but a lot of the young ones that are coming up, I've felt for them, because they had put themselves into debt, getting loans for gear and for travel, transport and all that kind of thing. So hopefully that this year it might sort of come back, that these young artists will be able to get back to where they were before COVID came, hopefully.
So you had a lot of awards and all that sort for your music?
A lot of what?
Awards.
Oh yes. Oh God, I did. Yeah, you know, I didn't go too much on awards. I suppose I was getting the awards, and thankfully, none of this went to my head. I never sort of was caught up on it. I'm grateful for the awards. I got every award that could be bestowed on me, and I'm grateful for them. But you know, I'm more grateful that I made people happy, and I'm more grateful that people like to hear me sing.
Well, you do have a good voice, woman. Very
Well,
good voice.
thank you so much.
So I'm going to ask another question. You're going to be touring when and where?
I'm going to be touring just in Ireland. I'm touring in April. I'm doing 4 shows in April. I'm touring in July and in September. And that's about all I do now. I don't do any more than that. I keep myself scarce because I've done it all, and I've toured enough. So yeah, I'm just doing about 8 big shows.
That's good. Keep yourself occupied.
Yes. Yes.
Out of trouble, you know.
Trouble, yeah.
What was your latest song that you came out with? Margo?
Well, yeah, I have a song. Yeah, I had a song out that was very, very popular called "Fly Me West," and that was a big hit there a couple of years ago. And I recorded a duet with Big Tom, a love that's lasted through the years.
Right.
And that was a special time because I had known Tom since 1965. So yeah, we knew each other back then, and we remained friends and remained in touch all down through the years. And the one thing that we wanted to do on a personal level was to record a duet together. So I did that. What you're about to see is something really, really special to me. I've had an ambition in my musical career to record with this man from a very, very early age. I first met Tom back, I think, in 1966-67, and I went to a dance in Ardra, Donegal, the night that Gentle Mother was released. So this is a duet from Big Tom McBride and Margo, and it holds a real special place in my heart. A love that's lasted through the years. Darling, I still love you more than words can ever say. The years we've spent together seen our love grow more each day. I guess we are the lucky ones to find a love so true. It seems like only yesterday that we both said I do. And you still bring me flowers when you know I am feeling down. And I know that things will be alright whenever you're around. We've shared so many good times, and we dried each other's tears. Heaven's blessed us with a love that's lasted through the years.
I never will forget the day that you became my wife. You brought so much happiness and meaning to through my life. You truly are my sunshine. You are my guiding star. And I'd just like to thank you for being what you are. And I still bring you flowers when I know you're feeling down. I know that things will be alright whenever you're around. We've shared so many good times, and we've dried each other's tears. Heaven blessed us with a love that's lasted through the years.
And you still bring me flowers when you know I'm feeling down.
I know that things will be alright whenever you're around.
We've shared so many good times, and we've dried each other's tears.
Heaven blessed us with a love that's lasted through the years. Darling, we've both got love that's lasted through the years.
And I have a new song coming out now at the end of February. It's called Old Memories Live On. And it is a song that was specially written for me by a man in County Kildare called Danny Slevin. And he wrote it about his neighbours, a couple, and that one of them has got Alzheimer's. And he wrote it about that. And it's a beautiful song. And I just recorded it about a month ago or 6 weeks ago. So it's due for release the last Friday in February, and then it'll be followed up by the package of 70 songs for 70 years, and then I'll go on tour.
Finally, what would you like to share with the audience to encourage them in their endeavor throughout life?
Absolutely. I mean, I would like to thank them, first of all the fans out there that have listened to my music. And I think just keep it simple, you know. I can't deal with things if they get too mixed up, you know. So it's all about keeping it simple, keep positive, and love each other. That's the main thing. Respect.
Stay away from COVID, because that's rough.
Keep away from that. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, we love you, girl.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is
God
Patty. This is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page, thanking Margo O'Donnell on my show. She's been a pleasure, and I love her, and I love her brother too. Well, we'll keep in touch, eh?
Absolutely. Keep in touch with me. Great to talk to you.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us always, and for the rest of all our